So welcome back for segment 2 of Judavision. We're going to talk about the Holy Blood and the Holy Grail. So this clue, a knife painted in the hand of an ancient Egyptian deity, on the elevator wall, cleverly hidden in the golden tower, just behind the one from which the gunman spilled all that blood, led me to this other painter named Matt Couper, the husband of said occult artist jkruss. And boy, was I shocked to learn that Matt Couper was a so-called devotional painter who is a self-proclaimed alchemist and antichrist. But why don't I let Matt Couper tell you these items for himself in the following video.
This one's, it's kind of like a self-portrait of me. And it's a self-portrait of me coming to America. And the idea is that it's a conflation of a whole lot of symbols that don't quite meld together. And that's how I kind of see me in America. So I've got this Kisi figure from the Congo, which is a devotional figure that would have nails nailed into it for devotional purposes or healing purposes. And it's been stuck into a blender that is ultimately going to kind of try and join it all together, get some kind of alchemy going.
So now we know that Matt Couper looks at his self-portrait as a conflation of ideas that don't belong together, which is how he looks at himself in America, and that he looks at himself as he's on a mission where he's going to wind up in a blender on a dollar bill retablos. Be disturbed, because the next two videos that I'm going to show you are going to prove to you that he is also an admitted antichrist. And now to illustrate Matt's love for anti-Christianity in this clip.
So they used to use gold as halos and things like that, and that was the light of Christ kind of meeting your eyes. And in Spanish colonial times, they primed all their canvases with sort of this blood red, Indian red colour. And what I like about that is it's almost like, instead of being the light of Christ, it's the blood.
He likes that it's the blood of Christ, and if you love Christ, this should almost make you want to weep at his lust for Christ's blood. In this video, you're going to see that Matt Couper was raised in a New Zealand family who was an occult lineage, and you'll see when he talks about religion, as he goes, we didn't so much have crucifixes around the house, but we were religious. When he says we were religious, notice that they flash the compass and square, a painting of the compass and square with the all-seeing eye in it. Also notice that his religion and what he likes to paint, the religious themes that he likes to paint, have to do with trees, snakes, all the things in apples, all the things you find in Genesis 3, which steal your soul. And I'd like for you to remember that Matt Couper's name itself means gift of God, cut off. Enjoy.
I want my work to open up the idea of a lot of symbols that I use. So things like the eye of providence or the all-seeing eye, or general religious imagery, ladders, snakes, trees, apples, crucifixes. I collect crucifixes and draw them and paint them. They're such a potent symbol, and I grew up in a religious family, so it's always been quite a pertinent symbol. Although my family never had the crucifixes around the house so much. I started collecting them and then started painting these ex-photos. I showed my father a few of them, and he came out with this drawing that I did when I was 3 3/4 years old of a Christ crucified. Just sort of seeing that kind of made a lot of sense, that, it was part of, obviously, my lineage and part of my artistic development.
But moreover, I was terrified to learn that Matt specializes in painting strange variations of the American $1 bill. Even though he's from New Zealand, he's now found himself obsessed with the imagery on the dollar bill, which actually comes from alchemy. The way these things are framed, it comes from hero worship in and ancestry worship and alchemy. These people worshipped the philosophers who came before them as part of their becoming God process. They'd be worshipped when they died, just like the pharaohs. But I want you to notice the sketch is not only in the kind of the style of the alchemists that they did. It's $1 bill imagery. And that's very, very interesting. We also see that, and we'll just study this painting a lot more because it tells a big story. This is actually the dupe who shot all those people, supposedly, from the tower in front of Delano Tower. But as you can see, he has Warren Delano's contribution to the $1 bill. The side which has the American seal, supposedly the Great Seal, on the back. And Franklin Delano Roosevelt supposedly put that there. But I want to show you that dollar imagery is strong. Again, there's his Eye of Providence. We'll see what this is. This is going to blow your mind when we decode this little piece. This here speaks to David Tenyer's work, the other artist, which was mentioned in the parchment on the schoolboy code. Actually, it was the other code that they found in the pillar. But we'll decode this painting. We can't go into it because we can't come off of our line of thought here, or we'll kind of lose where we're at. But as you can see, time's up. And again, it is on this dollar retablos style painting. So more disturbing evidence. Here's the one we've seen that we know from Judavision. Our theory is for sure that this guy shot from this painting inside this magic circle. There's the motivation. There's the dollar folding up, as you're about to see on the Taco Bell commercial. The Taco Bell commercial shows you how to make this retablos to go in your own pocket, so you can be part of this pyramid that was planned for 100 years. Here's another self-portrait, Matt says in another interview, of himself, and we're going to find out what the shape is. It's going to blow your mind what this is for, but this says hard work at the bottom. You might not be able to read it that well because we're reading from my iPad again for copyright purposes. And then here we see Michael Jackson, who has a show called One, which one is the denomination of the dollar bill, one. It says in great big letters on the back. Michael Jackson has a show there called One, and this says unhappy. And somehow Matt Couper knew that Michael Jackson was unhappy a year before he died. And he's a big part of this thing right now. Again, sketched on this dollar bill retablo. But this was sketched in 0708, Judah. So if this guy sketched this thing in 0708 and he said he was unhappy, he knew this is part of their Vaticanador, and you'll see what that means upcoming. But again, dollar bill imagery. Here's the one which broke the seals off of this whole mystery for me, because I knew something was up after I saw the pyramid stuff. Now you see here the pyramid's gone and you see the eagle's gone, which means this thing unfolded and did its magic trick. But we're going to talk about this a little more in the future. But why is this strange that Matt Couper loves drawing on dollar bills, in particular dollar bills that fold up into this little square retablos that he draws, which is style from 400 years ago. In his interviews, he describes himself as anachronistic, which sounds a lot like Antichrist, which it is, because that's how that got its work, because Antichrist comes from the past. He says he's a painter who comes back from this old colonial style of painting, which are the graven images for the Bible. This is a witchcraft which was brought back by East India Company, who I began writing in my books, Sacred Scroll of Seven Seals. But again, why is this strange? I'd already pieced together many symbolic elements pointing to this nearly 100-year-old plot to kill Americans in front of a pyramid, as placed on the $1 bill by FDR. This is the actual the proof copy that FDR signed, saying that this was okay, and they kind of made like these were in the wrong spots to make like they didn't do this on purpose when this comes out. But you're going to find out that they did, because this all matches up, and you'll see how it does here in a minute when it folds up. Secretly, as told by the Taco Bell commercial, believe it or not. But as you can see, weirdly, that's kind of the pyramid that's now on this side. It's kind of like FDR reversed these and told you how to reverse them. But instead of drawing it to let him know he wants the seals on different sides. But look, his eagle ain't an eagle. It's an angel. It's a fallen angel. Represents bringing this Lucifer back. So FDR himself even programmed into the book where this was found, or into the archive that this was found, to let you know that they did plan this when you finally found it. He actually put his own piece of predictive program programming together. But again, I'd already pieced together many symbolic elements pointing to a nearly 100-year-old plot to kill Americans in front of a pyramid as placed on the $1 bill. And again, that pyramid was placed on our dollar bill by none other than Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And here you can see that the view from the Skyfall Lounge, and in Revelation 9:1, that angel fell from the heavens to the earth. And from the view, now the Skyfall Lounge is where Satan fell from the sky. And this is to commemorate this moment. And as you can see, this imagery matches FDR's imagery perfectly. That's the view from the bar in the Skyfall Lounge. Well, we don't know where those bullets were all coming from, but man, that brings a lot of suspicion upon not only this group, but this tower, which had all the creepy stuff, which could be the actual tower. That doesn't matter. I hope you all realize that in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't matter. All that matters is that you understand that this was a satanic plot and conspiracy, and that not only we think it happened. This happened, man. Look at this stuff that was placed here all this time ago. And so again, the pyramid is placed here by none other than, on the dollar, by none other than Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the man after whom the tower itself was named. There we see Delano Tower on their advertising, named after him. And the bar, believe it or not, in the bottom, there's a bar on the top called Skyfall, as mentioned, but this is the bar in the bottom, and it's called Franklin. To let you know, this wasn't after Warren Delano, his dope-dealing grandfather that started all my books. This was actually after him. I was the only perfect guy to walk in here and see all this stuff, which blew them away. The security guards only came after I started taking pictures of that one thing, that knife, and they came running and they wanted to question me. And a bunch of them have been in questionable videos on the wrong floors, guarding the wrong side, the bottom, not going after the guy. We might cover that later. We'll see how these guys react and how good they are. Maybe we'll leave them out of it, but we'll see. But all these things tracked me back to the lobby of the Delano Tower, which that's how it's named. But one of Matt Couper's dollar bill retablos paintings, as mentioned, in particular, had piqued my attention. And we'll study this when we come back for our next segment. And again, we're looking at this on my iPad, so we don't violate any copyrights by anybody. We're just taking a cruise through Judah's iPad, critiquing, being art critics today, and critiquing this painter, and he's probably trying to promote his evil work, and we're going to help him do that so maybe he can sell more retablos. But we're going to learn a lot more of this stuff, and again, when we come back, we're going to learn how this comes back to the Holy Grail and Poussin's painting, and at Arcadia Ego, aka Les Bergers d'Arcadie. See you soon. Back to Judah Vision.